Two cities. The same £2,000 monthly budget. In London, that can disappear quickly before you have done anything especially extravagant. In Hurghada, on Egypt's Red Sea coast, the same money can cover rent, food, transport and a more relaxed social life, with money still held back for planning costs. But the comparison is not as simple as cheap versus expensive. Let's follow the money. This HOLTO Travel guide compares a modest but comfortable one-bedroom lifestyle in London with a broadly similar everyday life in Hurghada. The prices were checked during production in June 2026. They are ranges and working assumptions, not guarantees. Exchange rates move, rental quality varies, and your own habits will matter more than any single table. Start with housing, because that is where the budget usually bends or breaks. For London, a realistic one-bedroom figure for a modest private rental is around £1,450 a month, with cheaper rooms and flat shares below that, and central one-beds well above it. Council tax adds another allowance, and deposits can be painful. London also gives you deep public services, work access, and familiar contracts, but the rent takes most of the monthly budget before the month has properly started. In Hurghada, the housing picture is different. Long-stay furnished one-bedroom flats are often advertised in a much lower band, especially away from the most tourist-facing addresses. For this comparison we use £340 a month, roughly £22,235 Egyptian pounds at the exchange rate checked during production. That does not mean every flat is good value. Condition, building management, internet reliability, distance from daily services, noise, and contract terms all need checking in person. Utilities are the next big difference. In London, gas, electricity, water and standing charges can easily require a £220 monthly allowance for a smaller flat, depending on the property and season. Add broadband and mobile, and the running cost is meaningful. Hurghada has lower local service costs, but air conditioning changes the maths. A winter month and an August month are not the same. We have used £90 for utilities, including an air conditioning buffer, plus £25 for internet and mobile. Heavy cooling, poor insulation or an inefficient unit can push that up, so do not budget for the cheapest possible month. Food is where habits really matter. In London, a normal grocery allowance of around £330 is plausible for one person who cooks regularly but is not chasing every discount. Numbio's crowdsourced London table shows familiar staples such as milk, bread, eggs, rice and chicken at UK city prices, and supermarket choices can pull the basket up or down. Hurghada can be much cheaper for local vegetables, fruit, bread and simple everyday food. We use £190 for groceries, roughly £12,425 Egyptian pounds. But imported cheese, branded Western products, specialty coffee and alcohol can narrow the gap quickly. The cheapest Egyptian basket is not the same as recreating a British supermarket shop by the Red Sea. Transport is not a like-for-like swap. London is expensive, but it has one of the most extensive transport networks in the world. A £200 allowance is a fair working figure for regular public transport and the occasional short extra journey. It buys reliability, coverage and the ability to live without a car. Hurghada transport is cheaper but less structured. Taxis, ride-hailing, minibuses and walking all play a part. Heat, road layout and where you live make a real difference. We have allowed £70 a month, around £4,577 Egyptian pounds. That is enough for a practical local routine, but not for unlimited private cars or regular resort transfers. Eating out and leisure are where Hurghada starts to feel materially different. In London, one casual meal, coffees, a gym membership and a few modest social plans can take a visible bite out of the month. We use £170, which is not a luxury lifestyle. In Hurghada, local cafes and simple restaurants can be much more affordable, while marina venues, resort beach clubs and international restaurants sit in a different price bracket. Our allowance is £140, or about £9,155 Egyptian pounds. Spend locally and it stretches. Live like you are on holiday every week and it will not. Then come the costs that do not fit neatly into a cheap living headline. If you spend extended time in Egypt, you need to think about private healthcare, travel or international insurance, visa and residency rules, flights back to Britain, emergency savings, tax residence and currency movement. Gov.uk travel advice should be checked before travel, and official rules can change. This video is general information only. For visa, tax, legal, healthcare or financial decisions, use qualified professional advice. So what does the £2,000 budget actually buy? In our London example, rent, council tax, utilities, food, internet, mobile, transport and modest leisure come to about £2,590. That means the budget is roughly £590 short before you add savings, surprises or bigger social plans. London offers jobs, family access, NHS familiarity and a huge cultural life, but for many people the fixed costs are punishing. In Hurghada, the same structure comes to about £1,020, including a healthcare or insurance allowance and a small visa and admin buffer. That leaves roughly £980 from the same budget. A couple sharing rent may do better again. A premium lifestyle in a high-end compound, with frequent taxes, imported food, beach clubs and flights, will spend far more. The difference, then, is not simply that Hurghada is cheaper. It is that the structure of everyday spending changes. Housing and local services may take a much smaller share of your income, which can leave more room for leisure, savings or a slower pace of life. But Hurghada is not a permanent holiday. Summer heat, language, culture, healthcare expectations, property quality and distance from family all matter. If you are considering it, test the lifestyle before committing. Stay long enough to shop, cook, pay bills, use transport, speak to residents and inspect rental contracts carefully. The best decision is not the cheapest decision. It is the one that fits your health, income, family ties, and tolerance for change. Could you see yourself swapping London's pace for life beside the Red Sea? Tell us which cost surprised you most. Subscribe to HOLTO Travel for honest cost of living comparisons, relocation guides and practical advice about living abroad. Prices were checked in 2026. Always verify before making financial or relocation decisions.